To keep your equipment operating effectively, you need to keep them cleaned up after use. In this section, we'll look at proper protocol for cleaning chalkers, bulk paint sprayers, and aerosol paint sprayers. Here's a simple but important tip. Empty the chalker. It's as simple as that. Leaving old chalk in the hopper will invite compaction before the next use. So at the end of the day, empty any remaining chalk into a storage pail. You can still reuse the chalk the next day, but removing it will help you avoid bridging. Just give the wheels and agitator a few spins while you're pouring the chalk out to get as much chalk out as possible.
At the end of the workday, if you've done your job right, you shouldn't have much chalk left in the chalk. What you can do to help further prevent bridging in a chalker, you can take what little bit of chalk is left at the end of the day, pour it back into the bucket, and then you can refill it tomorrow when you're ready to start chalking again. So you can see I don't have much chalk left in there because I was only putting as much as I needed on each field. So it doesn't take much for me to empty this back out into the stockpile here in the bucket. A couple rotations, and we're good to go. Tomorrow I'll put new chalk in there, and because chalk won't have sat overnight and further compacted in there, I'll have a lot less chance of bridging going on in my chalk.
To keep your paint sprayer clean, you need to drain it first and then refill it with water. With the sprayer full of water, give the machine a good flush by spraying the water through the tank, hoses, and nozzle of your equipment. A little paint will spray out first while the water works its way through the line. Once you see clear water spraying, you're set. Wash the exterior of your machine and clean any filters on the unit.
All right, for bulk paint sprayers, you want to make sure that you follow manufacturer's directions on how to clean the unit out each day. This particular one's real easy, and again, at the end of the day, with the bulk paint sprayers, you can clean these out. It's important to get the feeder tubes cleaned and the valves, everything else get flushed with clean water. So on this particular unit, it's real simple. This unit actually carries a spare tank of clean water in it, and I can take this valve right here and change it from paint to water. And by doing so, it then draws water out of that spare tank instead of paint out of the paint supply tank. So when I click this on, you'll see it's spraying paint at first, but over the course of time, that spray will clear out to a nice clean water. And by that, it will have flushed out the pump, the feed lines, the valves, and everything, so that we've got a nice clean system ready to go for the next day.
To prevent the nozzle from clogging, remove the can from the paint sprayer and tip it so the nozzle is facing upward, like the picture shows. Then spray any paint that remains in the nozzle. Holding the can upright will cause the paint to travel to the bottom of the can, so there should only be a small amount that sprays out, followed by just air, leaving a clean nozzle.
All right, after you've finished applying the paint to your field, if you're using an aerosol can, you want to make sure that you take this can out of the sprayer. And remember, it normally sprays like this. Well, in order to clean this tip, to make sure this tip is ready to go the next time and the paint hasn't dried up in there, we're going to tip this up and clear it out by pressing it and forcing the paint then out of that nozzle. This way, we're always sure that the nozzle does not get clogged by clearing that paint out of there for the next time.
From setting your string lines to cleaning your equipment and everything in between, you're ready to mark your ball field. We have one final pop quiz from this last section that you should try. Then it's up to you if you would like to review the previous sections to make sure you have it all down before you go on to a new lesson.